To give you an example of what or how big the basal metabolic rate is for me, so I'm 90 kg. Mostly, I fluctuate up and down. I'm around 90 kg. I'm 6 foot tall or 183 centimeters, obviously male. My basal metabolic rate is around 1900 to 2000 calories. So it depends what calculator you use. You can go online and use different basal metabolic rate calculators. Mine was around 1900 calories. So for me, just to wake up, if I was just to never get out of bed, I would be 1900 calories burning just sitting there. And then if you look at my NEAT levels and my EAT levels and my thermic effect of food, all those calories piled on top, then that would make my TDEE, which is my total daily energy expenditure. So your basal metabolic rate is the thing that is just fixed, right? But our total daily energy expenditure is our basal metabolic rate plus our NEAT levels, our EAT levels, and our TEF levels. And that ultimately, our TDEE, our total daily energy expenditure, is another word, an elongated word for our maintenance calories. And I want you to understand this because this is going to help you understand when you want to lose weight or when you want to gain weight or when you want to maintain weight, how many calories you should be consuming. I have a calorie calculator that you can use. It doesn't calculate your basal metabolic rate, but it calculates your TDEE, your maintenance. And then if you want to lose weight, you would consume less calories than your maintenance. If you wanted to gain weight, you would consume more calories than your maintenance. And these are the principles of the calorie deficit, calorie maintenance, and also the calorie surplus. But the BMR and the TDEE are intertwined. But ultimately, my TDEE, my maintenance, is around 3,500 calories. And that could sound high, especially with my basal metabolic rate only being around 1,900 to 2,000 calories. I have this other 1,500 calories to make up. And that is used, or those calories burnt, those 1,500 calories above my basal metabolic rate, my NEAT levels, my EAT levels, and my thermic effect of food. So for my NEAT levels, I am very active. I look at so I have a Fitbit, and I'm going to get into how accurate smartwatches are towards the end of this podcast. But for example, I've done 7,000 calories. I've done 7,000 steps. So 7,469 is what I'm on now. I've done a jiu-jitsu class before I did this podcast, so that's extra planned exercise, you could say, but that doesn't register on my watch because I don't wear my watch whilst I roll, or else it would break, because we need our wrists to be able to be grabbed in jiu-jitsu. So that's my NEAT levels, but on average, like just today, and it's around 3 p.m. right now, but for the rest of my NEAT levels, I average around somewhere between 10,000 to 15,000 steps per day. I usually get more steps on the weekend because I'm with my family. I go for a walk with my wife and my daughter quite often. We go down to the beach, we walk up and down, we walk different places, we might go to the shopping center, all that kind of stuff. But I have quite a high physical activity level with my steps. I would say my average, I could probably pull it up on my phone, but I don't have it on me. It's probably over 70,000 steps per week. And for my planned exercise, I do 3 jiu-jitsu sessions that are like 90 minutes long, and then I do 5 workouts, which are about 1 hour long. So as you can see, I have a really big physical activity level. And if we look at our physical activity level, it's made up of our planned exercise and our non-planned exercise. And that's why at the beginning of this podcast, I said, like, it doesn't really matter if our walks are planned or non-planned. You can put them in whatever box you want to, because it still sits in our physical activity box, which is our NEAT levels, non-planned exercise, plus our EAT levels, which is our planned exercise, our workout. So whether I class my 10,000 steps that I do on average a day into planned exercise or non-planned exercise, it still sits in this physical activity bucket. And your body doesn't care where your calories expenditure has come from. It just costs you energy. It costs you calories, and that is what you're burning when you're looking at that. So, for example, I also have a high level of protein in my diet. I'm consuming around 2.5 grams per kilo of body weight, which is the upper echelon of a high protein diet. So as you can see, I'm a bit of a calorie burning machine. So that's why my maintenance calories is 3,500. Some people wouldn't even dream of eating 3,500 calories, but that's just the reality of my life. I'm very physically active. I would say I'm reasonably tall. I'm reasonably muscular. I'm reasonably heavy. And I have a high level of protein in my diet. So I have to eat lots of food. 3,500 calories, that's just for me to maintain weight. At the moment, I'm dropping weight and I'm on about 3,300 to 3,200 calories. That's only a 300 calorie deficit each day, but that's helping me to lose a slight amount of weight every week. I don't want to lose too much, but just slowly edge it off. That's the importance of kind of like understanding your total daily energy expenditure and how many calories you burn, because once you're aware of how much you burn, then you can now go, okay, this is what I'll do if I was going to lose weight. This is what I'll do if I was going to gain weight. It's the same if you look at budgeting. If you know how much you're earning and how much you're spending, or how much your entire household is bringing in and how much your entire household costs. You might have kids. You might have a wife. The kids might have schools. You might have hobbies that you need to pay for. You might have a mortgage to pay for. You might need to pay for a car. You might need to go shopping, to buy clothes, whatever. We all have expenditures and kind of like how much we make coming in as well. But if we're not aware of it, we don't know what to do to save money, or we don't know what to do if we're going to like spend too much and go into debt or go broke. And that's the same thing. That's how I like to look at calories as well. If we don't know how much we're burning, then we don't really know how much we need to consume if we are going to lose, maintain, or gain weight.